The House Majority Leader and Steve Scalise has officially withdrawn from the speakership election, and now questions arise about who will be the Speaker of the House now. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video, and today it is time that we talk about the complete and total chaos that is currently unfolding on Capitol Hill, because everyone, we had a bombshell announcement for the speakership election, as Steve Scalise, who is the House Majority Leader, has officially withdrawn from the speakership election. And now we have no clue what's next, because Steve Scalise, say what you will about the process, it seemed like he was, as of now, the closest Republican to 217, and well, he has officially withdrawn from the election. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you could join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Alright, everybody. So again, this is a developing story that, well, I had my reaction last night, which, go watch the streams that we had last night because of the chaos that was happening. But either way, this was kind of unexpected, but expected at the same time. Just, we were stunned that it happened at the second the conference started. The conference had a meeting last night, and well, the second I ended the stream, he announced he was quitting the speakership election, and well, the rest is, I guess you could say, history. But let's get into this, because this is a complete and total mess. Again, this is a developing story. We just gotta see what happens. Representative Steve Scalise of Louisiana withdrew on Thursday from consideration for the speakership. He was on the cusp of claiming after hardline Republicans balked at rallying around their party's chosen candidate, leaving the House leaderless and the GOP in chaos. Now, let me be clear about all of this. I think for everybody's benefit, I think this was the right move. I don't hate Steve Scalise. I actually think he's a nice dude. I think he is overall pretty solid on the issues. Like, he, on every scorecard when it comes to how conservative somebody is, he is definitely far better than McCarthy. Just, he wasn't as good as we would want for a speaker. And not only that, but there are serious concerns about his health. And I think this is the best move for him not to be the next speaker, because for those that don't know, he does have cancer. And I just can't imagine having that type of health issue and being the Speaker of the House. You know, arguably one of the most important jobs in the entire government. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. So I think for everybody involved, this was the best outcome. Because again, I just don't know if this was a good idea for him to become the Speaker, but that's my opinion. After being narrowly nominated for Speaker during a Wednesday closed-door secret ballot contest among House Republicans, Mr. Scalise, their number 2 leader, found himself far from the 217 votes needed to be elected on the House floor. And this was the first blunder his people made. There were a bunch of things we were hearing about, but the biggest one was, why did you immediately end the meeting when you got barely the majority, which we put an asterisk next to it because we kind of know more of the context that the majority really wasn't a majority. But either way, it's like, why did you vote against Chip Roy's amendment to say you need 217 from the conference to be the speaker? You need it. And with the House this close and divided, why did you immediately end it and say, well, job's over, I'm the Speaker of the House? That didn't go too well. And apparently many people were saying Scalise really didn't offer a solution to what was happening. So there's that. Many supporters of his challenger, Representative Jim Jordan, the right-wing Republican endorsed by former President Donald Trump, refuse to switch their allegiance. And again, there are varying reasons, like Taylor Greene, for example. She gave a very solid reason saying, look, Scalise, nice guy and all, but the health is a really big concern. Like, should you be the speaker if you have that type of health issues? Again, nothing against Scalise, it's just nothing personal. I'm just saying that it's not a good idea to have somebody with that type of health issue being third in line of the presidency. I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. Now, some people like Nancy Mace, she needs to shut the hell up about some of this stuff that Scalise may have said in the past. It's like, he called like Scalise racist, I guess. I don't freaking know. But either way, there are some varying reasons, but most of them, from what I've heard, they are legitimate. With no clear end in sight to the GOP infighting that has left one chamber of Congress paralyzed at a time of challengers at home and abroad, or challenges, Mr. Scalise said he would step aside in hopes that someone else could unite the fractious party, which I'm glad he did. You know, Scalise was never going to get 217. And I think he realized, you know, if they had a bigger majority, say 230, 240, he could have probably become the next speaker, but at 221, or what we're at right now, I think it's 222, he just didn't have enough support with like 20 to 30 Republicans saying, we're not going to vote for you. And apparently he didn't do a great job at trying to win them back over. I just shared with my colleagues that I was withdrawing my name as a candidate for Speaker designee, Mr. Scalise said. If you look at where our conference is, there's still work to be done. Our conference still has to come together, and it's not there. There are still some people that have their own agendas, which I agree with. And there's some people like the idiots in New York, they're trying to expel Santos now. It's like, what a terrible time to do that. There's already enough division. Now you want to try to expel one of your own? When you know you only have like a 4-seat majority? And when tensions are rising? It's just, some of these people, I don't get what they're trying to accomplish here. His abrupt exit left Republicans back at square one, as fractious as ever, who should lead them after trading recriminations about the disarray in which they found themselves in. They planned a Friday morning meeting to discuss how they move forward, which, I'm just going to be real with everybody. I don't know who can get 217. That's the magic number. Jim Jordan, I think, could come close, but assholes like, you know, Don Bacon and Ann Wagner, just, I don't get what they're trying to accomplish. Like, oh, I'm not going to support Jordan because I want to punish the people that originally supported him. What? Jordan endorsed Scalise, and Wagner's doing something personal about, oh, Jordan didn't concede good enough. Again, some of these people, I don't get it. Hell, you even got Mike Garcia supposedly open to the idea. Steve won fair and square, and yet we had people who refused to vote for him, said Representative Don Bacon, Nebraska, adding, if you reward bad behavior, you're going to get more of it. Just shut up. I really, if we weren't in this situation of barely having a majority, I would hope this guy loses. I mean, you cannot just be saying that, oh, you got to reward bad behavior. So you're going to punish Jim Jordan, who openly conceded, in fact, was going to give a speech on the House floor for Scalise? The logic of some of these people are just baffling, and didn't you want to unite the conference? Then the majority of the conference, the vast majority, I think, right now, they're behind Jordan. It's like, the hypocrisy of some of these people is unbelievable. Mr. Scalise's downfall came after the extraordinary few days on Capitol Hill that put Republican divisions on vivid display. Mr. Scalise suppressed Mr. Jordan during the internal party contest by just 14 votes. Asterisks of that because a bunch of them voted present, voted for McCarthy, and some of those people that voted for Scalise, apparently they aren't even ones that could vote on the House floor. They're like delegates from like Puerto Rico. Like, yeah, they're non-voting members. But rather than consolidating his narrow base of backers, Scalise almost immediately began homogeneizing supporters, as lawmakers from several factions publicized that they did not intend to fall into line behind him. Hemorrhaging, I should say, excuse me. I mean, there were many reasons again. Some people were just saying, oh, we have to elect Scalise because we said so, but then some people did bring up legit reasons like Trump said. He has blood cancer. I mean, he's a nice guy, and I agree with it. He is a great guy overall. I mean, there's some serious questions about his health. And there's some serious questions about how he handled the conference. Instead of staying at the meeting and saying, look, I'm going to stay here until we work together, get 217. We work out a compromise. Instead, he just ended the conference immediately? I don't know. And even then, there were other Republicans that, didn't get behind Scalise. Like Kevin McCarthy, he never really liked Scalise. That relationship, people need to learn more about. That's not pretty. But you just start looking more into it and you realize Scalise has never had a pathway. He never did. There's a lot of health issues, and I'm wishing for the best for Scalise. It sounds like he will stay as the majority leader. I think that's fine for him. But the question remains, who's the Speaker of the House? I don't know. This is one of those times where I have no freaking clue. You got losers like Don Bacon and Ann Wagner. Mind you, Wagner's in like a R+30 seat or whatever. You're worried about, oh, Jim Jordan didn't concede good enough. What are you talking about? And then Don Bacon, we gotta punish those that caused this. It's like, so instead of getting the House back in order, you want to punish Jim Jordan, who supported Scalise this entire time, or McCarthy? What? And then you got people like Tom Emmer, they may run. I don't see him getting much support. Kevin Hearn, maybe. But every time he runs, it seems like he can just never get enough support. Like, every time he runs, he can't even get any votes. So you start looking outside of the Congress. There are people like Trump, which I don't think is going to happen. It would be funny. But I think if you were to pick somebody that's not currently in Congress, I would pick somebody that isn't, or I should say, is a former congressman of like the past 10 years. Not Newt Gingrich, that's just stupid. He's out of date, he's lost it, but I think somebody like Justin Amash, who I'm not the biggest fan of, he's never Trumper, but I think he would be a decent enough speaker, especially when it comes to some government reform. People are saying Lee Zeldin, maybe. I think he would be. I mean, who doesn't like Zeldin? Well, some people don't. Well, they're on Twitter, but, there are a couple options I don't think that are in the conference that could win. But those that are in the conference, I don't know. It's maybe Kevin Hearn, maybe Jim Jordan. Mark Green was getting thrown around, but I don't see that happening. There's a lot of options where it's like, you may have to call in from the bullpen someone like Lee Zeldin to come save you. Because Zeldin, I think, would absolutely get the entire conference's support and would, in my opinion, be a solid enough speaker. And if worse comes to worse, just make McHenry, who is the interim speaker, just say for 30 days he has temporary powers of introducing legislation to the floor. Or something, He's not the speaker, he's just the interim speaker. We just got to see what happens. This is going to get ugly, I think. This is not good. One of those times where I have no clue. This is unprecedented. We don't know how this is going to go. Again, no hard feelings against Scalise, but he will not be the Speaker of the House. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below. Subscribe. Share with your friends. Hit that little bell. Follow the social media accounts in the description down below. And, of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.